chairman and editor-in-chief of Forbes Media and the author of the new book, Freedom Manifesto, Why Free Markets Are Moral and Big Government Isn't. There it is. There's a nice shot of it. We were just talking, you and I, about philosophy, about progressivism and government. And, you know, what's amazing to me is they seem so offended at Bain Capital, yet a little bit later in the program, we're going to get into the laundry list of unions and well-to-do liberals that are invested in Bain. Let me ask you something. I find it fascinating when liberals, they give you this class warfare stuff, then they hop in their limousines and go. I mean, it might be cliche to say limousine liberal, but it's true. The ruling class always separates itself from the people.
Well, Obama went after the private aircraft industry. What is Air Force One? Thank you very much.
Well, we pay for that.
And he's not about to give that up. And in terms of what you talked about in Bain Capital, it's not just the people invested in. Bain Capital is an example of the extraordinary creativity of the American economy and American capital markets. Why does America, the most developed nation in the world, do more in high technology, more in entrepreneurship than Western Europe and Japan and other developed countries? It's because one of the reasons is the flexibility of our capital markets. Take Bain Capital. In Europe, if a company got in trouble, it would either fail or the government would come and bail that out. In this country, a company like Bain would come in and fix the thing. And to say, well, didn't that sometimes involve layoffs? Well, that's like looking in the middle of an open heart surgery. Open heart surgery looks like a mess. What you have to ask is, what was the final result for the patient? Most of the patients he took on survived and wouldn't have survived. And he created new businesses like Staples, where something that costs $1,000 today, you're going to buy it tomorrow for 10 or 20 bucks. Genius of American capital system, always versatile, coming up with new ways, and that's why we as a developed nation grow faster than other developed nations, even though we're much bigger than they are. We are flexible, they're not.
Have you seen some of the stats from Taxmageddon? For all this promise, I was reading them today from the Americans for Tax Reform, that this promise that taxes aren't going up for anyone making less than $250. Everyone's taxes are going up because most of it is the Obamacare surcharges. So the president made this promise. Politicians break promises. But I'm almost to the point where I think some people are lost on the effect of pulling all this capital out of the economy, pulling it away from people so they can't spend it, so they can't make more decisions. And the Democrats seem to think this is the way to run an economy. You pull as much as you can from the private sector and let the public sector do all the spending.
Well, this gets to another one of their fallacies. They say, well, Bill Gates and others can't eat $60 billion of food, so we take it away from them and put it to the public good. They are part of the public good, entrepreneurs, whether they're rich or Democrat. And why, Democrat or Republican? Why? Because they can handle and invest that money better than the government can. I'll trust Warren Buffett, despite what he may think on taxes, better to invest those billions than the post office or Amtrak or other facets of the U.S. government, because they know how to create it, so therefore they know how to do it, and people who may not have the expertise to do it are wise enough to hire people who can and want to get that return and put it to work. You don't get productivity, you don't get production without investment, just like transactions between two people. So as you pointed out, when the government does one of these stimulus things, what do? They extract resources, do it through borrowing, taxing, or printing of money, another form of taxation, and then put it through the political sausage factory. That is waste. It's not productivity.
Now, another thing, and maybe I should sponsor free subscriptions to Forbes magazine so people could understand this, that, people watching this program get it. But
when we should mandate when we have to buy Forbes magazine. Yes.
Sure.
Supreme Court
required reading for the staff. Actually, it is. When you hear quantitative easing, that sounds so innocent. I don't know what that means. Quantitative easing is going to make things easier. But what's amazing is when you look at the money supply, you look at the value of currency. Lenin used to believe that, and I don't mean John Lennon, you debauch the currency to bring down the system. Every time they print more money, it's like a war on savings. It's a war on value. It makes prices go up for everyone. The government cannot dictate value.
And means a lower standard of living.
Yes.
And what it's done is destroyed pricing in the credit markets. You don't know what the real value of credit is anymore. Does anyone really think a 10-year Treasury bond should yield 1.8% with the government's finances today? That's market manipulation. So the government has made sure, the Fed's made sure the government gets cheap money, big businesses get cheap money, but how about small and medium-sized businesses? Good luck. That it destroys job creation, it consumes wealth, does not create wealth. Again, when you take wealth from the hands of people who've created or know how to create it, you're taking away not just pieces of paper, you're taking away brain power, you're taking away information. Markets give you information about what you should and should not do, what is working and not working. Put it in a political sausage factory, you get more cylinders. You're destroying wealth in the name of the people. So you impoverish people in the name of helping them. That's government. Short-sighted, selfish. Big government is immoral. Free markets are moral because it brings out the best in human nature where we all benefit.